Welcome back. You are watching Over the Hump live from New York City.
Did you know women are 2.5 times more likely to take antidepressants than men? It's true. Joining us is a woman who's managing her depression by embracing an Eastern philosophy. Welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Cassandra, we're so glad you're here today. And you know, earlier we were talking about antidepressants. I'm very open. I take one every day. Obviously, that is not the only way to deal with depression. Exercise is important. Eastern philosophy, very important. And you're in a very good place now, but that wasn't always the case. And I want you to tell our viewers what your depression was like and where it almost took you.
Okay, well, my boyfriend had just left me for another woman, and it stirred up every insecurity I ever had. At the same time, I was estranged from my immediate family. My money situation was tight. My circle of friends had gotten smaller. So I was kind of already at the brink, and this just pushed me over the edge. So it seemed like life was telling me, girl, your best just ain't good enough. So I decided enough was enough. So I went into the bathroom, I filled the bathtub with water, I got the razor blade, and just as I got in and put the razor blade to my wrist, there was a knock at the door. And that really ticked me off, because it's like, you know, can I commit suicide in peace here?
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
So I went to the door, no one answered. Okay, fine. So I went back, got back in the tub, put the razor blade, and the knock happened again.
That is so powerful. I'm sorry, but that is, I mean.
Yeah, so I go to the door, and there was a police officer. I had spoken to my boyfriend a couple of hours earlier, and somehow I guess he sensed something in my voice, because I can assure you, I did not tell him what my plans were. I was resolute. This was it. So I opened the door, and I just broke down. So he suggested, you know, he called an ambulance and take me to the hospital. So I went, but when I got to the hospital, they left me out in the hallway.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so
Not
filled.
what you do with someone who's about to attempt suicide.
Yeah, so they left me there long enough for me to start thinking again. And I became so filled with shame that I just got up and left. I couldn't, you know, it was like in my past, I think I had always suffered from depression, but I was able to shake it off, you know? I was able to get busy and do something, but this time I couldn't.
Well, this is what I want to ask you. You've left there. You decided not to go back.
Right.
What really, after that attempt, was your turning point to seek help?
Well, I wish I could tell you it was from a place of enlightenment, but it wasn't. I was, you know, I saw myself as a victim. So I wanted to guard myself even more than what I already was. So I went online. I Googled increasing intuition. And that's
Why did you Google that
Increasing
specifically?
intuition.
Intuition? Because I felt like if I had seen this coming, I wouldn't be in the predicament that I was
Interesting. That is interesting.
right.
But look, the blame she's still putting on herself.
Yes.
Still.
She needed to do more than you were already doing to have been better.
in. Right.
So what happened? You Google intuition, and what
Right,
happened?
and that brought up, I started reading that was crap. So I came across the Buddhist concept of the 10 worlds, and it made more sense to me about human behavior than anything I had ever heard in my life.
Now, I know this is a very deep concept and it takes lots of studying, but could you summarize for those of us who don't know what that is?
Well, the source of my suffering, or I guess the catalyst at that time, was I couldn't make sense of his behavior. This was a man who I thought I knew his character. I thought he had integrity. Even if he wasn't happy in the relationship, he would come to me first and tell me. So how could he go from loving me one minute to loving someone else the next?
Because men are crazy.
Okay,
go ahead.
So I
All
wanted,
agree there.
So I wanted to understand human behavior better, and this explained it. You know, understanding brings me comfort. Nothing he was saying was shedding any light on the situation. So I found out hell was this state of mind where you just feel completely powerless. You're, you know, everything's out of your control. Then there was the concept of hunger, where you're ruled by your desires, shopaholic. alcoholic, you know, whatever
Yes.
holic there is, all up to the world of Buddhahood. So we all have these states within us. We vacillate between them throughout the day, and even within each one of them, there's some positive that exists.
And this has brought a lot of joy to your life, would you say?
Yes.
This studying this kind of philosophy.
Because I realized it wasn't my obstacles that were the source of my depression. It was my inability to face life's challenges. I joined the Soka Gakkai International, and I started chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, just like Tina Turner in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? Who knew when I sat there watching it all those years prior? And suddenly now I was hanging around people who were talking about changing poison into medicine.
I like that.
Yeah, meaning transforming negative circumstances into a method for personal growth.
And is
That's
that what
beautiful.
you do today when you face the day-to-day humps? Very quickly, Cassandra, is that how you cope?
Oh, most definitely. So now when I chant, it's not about overcoming depression. It's actually about living a life of my dreams and being of greater service in this world.
That's beautiful.
So I'm no longer woe is me, but woo, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And it's empowering. It comes from you.
Exactly, exactly. But I needed a philosophy. I needed a new foundation in order to help me.
And you know what?
get a new
Whatever that,
perspective.
wherever that foundation comes from, as long as it helps you, it's a good thing. Cassandra,
Exactly.
thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for
Yes,
having me.
we very much appreciate your honesty and being so candid. And good luck to you. You seem
Thank
like you're in a
you.
great place.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, coming up next, more ways to manage your depression from a holistic approach. That's coming up right after this.